Good morning, almost good afternoon, fifth graders. Welcome to Reading with me. And I just wanted to share with you that we are wrapping up this unit as well for Unit 7 about conflicts that shaped a nation. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to notice in more detail about the text structure of the text, two texts that we've been reading. And then tomorrow we're going to really dive deeper into comparing those two texts. So today we're just going to kind of list out what are the components of both texts. When I say text structure, that means basically how is a text organized, and maybe including also what are some features that it might include, so some graphic features as well. So we're going to go through that today together, and then I'm actually going to model for you for the first text and listing out the things that I've seen or noticed about the text structure and graphic features and things, and then I'll let you guys get into the Road to Revolution, which is the second text, okay? So I'll model for you for the first one, and then you'll get to do the next one on your own. Good morning, Michael. And when we get back together tomorrow, we'll go ahead and prepare to actually explain using the chart that we're making today. All right, so our objectives today, we're going to be analyzing text structure that the author decided to use, and then we're also going to just briefly mention comparing and contrasting the text. That's going to be more of our focus for tomorrow. All right, and I'm going to be sharing my desktop today because I wanted to model for you where on the computer screen you'll be able to find everything. I'm starting with Clever because I wanted to make sure that everyone knows how to get into Clever and how to find benchmark. So if I'm going in here, I'm just like we normally would do, I hit benchmark once you've logged in. And this would be if you would rather use the digital copy. If you don't want to use the booklet that you have at home, or if you don't have the booklet, this is the way you would access these digitally. All right, so I'm going to click on Benchmark Advance. We are at grade 5. This is Unit 7, so that'll filter that out for you, and then you go out down and you find our ebook. So we read the first two texts in this, and so what we're going to be doing today is comparing this text called Yankee Doodle Boy, comparing that to, or looking at also, Road to Revolution. So I'm going to leave it on this page and move it over for us so that we can do the work together. You will find this document in Google Classroom, and I would like to use the same document today and tomorrow. Good morning, Freddie. I'm going to use the same document tomorrow, so today we're going to type in our notes into this chart, and then tomorrow we're going to open the same one up, and we're going to be typing a response on the bottom of this. So kind of make sure we don't turn this in maybe, that way we can access it and type into it tomorrow as well. All right, so I have this chart already set up for us, and so when you're in Classroom, you'll be able to find it. So it says, using two column notes, compare and contrast the text structure of Yankee Doodle Boy and Road to Revolution. So over here is where I'm going to model for you and help you out, and then you will be in charge of Road to Revolution. So I'm going to choose to turn on my bullet list so I can list some items in here. And so now I'm going to take a look at the text structure of Yankee Doodle Boy. Well, first of all, I noticed right away that it's not just printed on regular paper. It's meant to look a little different, it looks like. So it looks like it's ripped out of something, possibly a journal, and that's in fact what it is. It is a journal entry. And so I'm going to type out something that I'm noticing about just the way it's organized, that it's written on journal paper. Because really what I'm looking for when we're talking about text structure is how is the author organizing this too. And so I'm going to look at how it's being organized by looking at the text as well. And to start off at the very top, I noticed one of the things that it includes, like a graphic feature or a text feature, is that there's some italics at the top in a paragraph. And usually that italics is kind of giving us a preview of or extra information of what we might need to know before we get into reading. And that's where we learned the background of that this is an actual journal entry written by Joseph Martin. And so I'm going to just include that in Yankee Doodle Boy, there is an intro with italicized words, or with italics written, actually I'm going to say written in italics. Written in italics. Okay. And then there is a little clue on there that it tells us that it's an excerpt. So that means it's not going to be the whole diary. At the very top it says excerpts from the diary of Private Joseph Plum Martin. So that's important to notice, or note. Oops, I don't need And so then when I get into the reading of the document or whatever we're looking at reading, I'm noticing that it is written as a narrative. It's told from the perspective of this person. So I'm going to say that, written as a narrative. And with that, when it's written as a narrative, that means that it's, whoops, I didn't spell it right. If it's written as a narrative, it's going to also have, well, from whose point of view. And so this is written by the person saying I. So they're using I pronouns like the word I or we. So they're using those pronouns. There. And something else I've noticed looking at the way this is organized, that it goes in order. Like the author wrote this as if they're getting ready for the battle, and then their feelings and emotions, and then by the end of it, the battle doesn't actually happen because the other opposing side has surrendered. So it's going in order, and when a text goes in order, we call that chronological order. Let me make sure I spell it. Chronological order. It's not written where it's like a cause and effect, like this happened and then this happened and then this happened and that happened. That's not how it's organized, and it's also not organized by problem solution where here's a problem, here's a solution, here's a problem, here's a solution. This is really written just in order of the events that took place. So I would call that chronological order. All right, and then at the end of the text on page 5, I'm noticing that there is a picture, but I want to be specific about what kind of picture I'm seeing. It doesn't look like it's a photograph. Back then they didn't have cameras. It does look like possibly a painting. I'm going to call it an illustration. And under that illustration, I also see that there is a caption that describes it. And so this caption says an artist rendering of the Battle of Yorktown. So it's even mentioning that an artist drew it. So illustration / I might even say painting. So it gives us information about it. Okay. And one more thing I'm going to note is that I did see that there are numbered paragraphs. So I'm going to mention that this text includes numbered paragraphs. All right. So kind of a combination of how is it organized with the text itself. It's in chronological order, but also noticing the graphic features and text features that we noticed too with the illustration, the title, there's the italics in the beginning, all of those things together. Okay, so your job is to do the same kind of analysis using the other text. So looking at Road to Revolution, let me switch to that text. Road to Revolution does not have the same look to it. So what I'm going to have you do, if I come to this other side, is you're going to list out what are those text features that you see, how is it organized, maybe keep in mind what you noticed as you read it, that is it in chronological order? Is it set up where it's problem and solution? Is it a cause and effect? What typically do you see happening in this text as you read it or as you reread it? Noting on that in there, and what point of view? Is it written as I, we, or is it not? What are the other things that you see? So basically I need you to analyze this text the same way that I analyzed Yankee Doodle Boy for you. And so when we are done with this, don't turn it in, because then tomorrow we're going to open the same document up, and then we're going to have a deeper conversation about what we have in our chart when we compare these two things. Okay? Alrighty. So to wrap up, let me make sure good to go. All right, so to wrap up, I just want to say thank you for all of your support and watching these videos. It feels like the live videos are working out pretty well. So if you need any extra help, let me know in that flip grid. And if not, I think this is a pretty easy peasy day. Tomorrow will be a bit deeper conversation about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys do. And I'm glitching a lot. Bummer. Okay. Well, hopefully it clears up maybe when you rewatch it, if you need to rewatch it. All right, guys. Well, have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.